Hello, my name is Kirioth, and today we are going to take a little glance at the Sunday preview. I realise it is Monday. It's Monday morning, to be precise, and I've decided to start covering this stuff. Why do I keep waving that around? I decided I'm going to start covering this because a good number of people have said that whilst they might use things like Twitter for hobby stuff and pictures and like models and like inspiration material, they don't actually use like the community site and they don't use things like Facebook, and that 90% of the information about anything Games Workshop happening comes through me. Which is fine, but it means that if I miss stuff out, which frequently happens, they don't find out what's going to be released until it's actually right on them. And so I thought, why not grab a coffee of a Monday morning, have a look at the preview, and I've nearly done it again, and just take a look at what's going to be available next week. Remember, it's like a 2-week lead time. So the Sunday preview shows what is going to be available to pre-order next weekend, and then the things that you pre-order next weekend will arrive the week after. So it's a little bit, like, confusing in a way. Maybe not confusing, it just feels drawn out. Feels like the hype for the hype. But we're going to be nice and level-headed. After all, it is Monday morning. Who's got energy on a Monday? No one. If you do have energy on a Monday, then I would like to know how you get it. And if you say coffee, then I can confirm that it slightly works in that I am conscious. But that's about it. Anyway, so we have the Sunday preview, codexes, and a king. The king is me. That's not true. The king is Elvis, obviously. The first of the new codexes are up for pre-order next weekend and are about to take what is already the best ever edition of Warhammer 40k to the next level. What's more, they're just the start of what's on the way next week. We're not going to play that trailer. I mean, we could play the trailer. Look, I'll be honest with you, right? I would play the trailer. I would put the trailer in the video. But like the last 4 times I've clicked a Games Workshop trailer, and I'm including the Sister of Battle VR game trailer in this, they've got copyright claimed. Like, the music has been claimed by some arsehole somewhere. And I don't mind people getting paid for the work they've done. I'm not going to complain about that. You should be paid for the work they've done. And if you're going to use music in trailers, then make it royalty free, because that way people won't just cut the music out of the trailer. The issue I have is like the Sister of Battle one, or Battle Sisters, whatever it's called. You know the one I'm talking about, the VR game we talked about last week. There was like 30 seconds of that trailer in that video, but when it gets copyright claimed for having music in it, they don't like just take 30 seconds worth of ad revenue. Like, it's not a percentage thing. It's not like, okay, it made up 5% of the video, so they get 5% of the ad revenue. If it was that, I would leave it because, well, I mean, someone's made that thing. It's not royalty free, and as such, they deserve to get paid for it. The issue is that they don't do that. The issue is that they take 100% of the ad revenue for that video. So they don't just get paid for the work that they do, but they get paid for the work that the person who made the video did, which is, that just feels off to me. It's like, I don't mind people getting paid for what they do, I just don't want them getting paid for what I do, if that makes sense. But then again, I suppose you could say that if the music is in the video that I've made, whatever, we're not doing it because it's a hassle. That's mostly what it boils down to. Anyway, so we have Codex Space Marines, which has thrilling background, stunning artwork, bespoke narrative-driven crusade rules, rules of building your own successor, chapter tactics, and 98 data sheets. Can you say bloat? I can say bloat. Would we say bloat in relation to the Space Marine Codex? Of course we wouldn't say that. He said, smugly. All that, and we still haven't mentioned the rules for upgrading your characters to members of the chapter command, all the miniature showcase, and all of the other stuff. Oh yeah, every first founding chapter and their successors, even the Death Watch is in this book. So remember that. If you're playing those, you're going to need this. It is an absolute beast of a tome, though. Look at that. It's thick. It's thick. I would even suggest maybe a thick with 2 C's. It is a thick codex. Of course, if you're looking to celebrate the glorious new edition, then you can get the limited edition one. I'll be honest, that to me is kind of... I feel like the limited edition stuff should be a bit more special. Because it's just the same art, but it goes to the edge of the page. It also maybe looks like the contrast is pushed higher. Interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Like, different artwork would be nice. A minor complaint, but just, anyway. You also get data cards, obviously. Oh, hilariously, remember, this code unlocks the Codex's full contents in the Warhammer 40k app. If it works. Who knows? I haven't logged into it for a while, because I can't, because it crashes when I open it. So, GG. So yeah, data cards, even when you're using the app to play, it's still incredibly satisfying and helpful. to place a data card next to a friendly or enemy unit affected by psychic power, stratagem, or litany of battle as a reminder that its effects are active. Thankfully, this handy set will enable you to do just that. It also means you'll be able to see those rules when the app crashes. Can you see a theme here? I'm joking. Look, the app probably works for most people. I don't know. It just doesn't work for me, which just makes me laugh, to be honest. Primaris Invader ATV. So this is an easy build, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we've talked about this before. There's things that could be done to make this better. I'm just going to leave it at that. We've covered it. There's a link in the description to the video where we talked about fixing the Invader ATV, because I feel like it probably does need fixing in some way. Whether you want to take the steps required to make it so that it's not as bad as the attack bike was for sheer impracticality is entirely up to you. If you like it, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you not to like it. We all like what we like. It would be boring if we all like the same thing. It's just, you know, on second viewing, I became less convinced. Let's put it that way. There's also the Primaris Chaplain on bike, and an important thing to note here, because you lads in Australia and New Zealand, you don't get the short end of the stick enough, in my opinion. If anything, prices should be higher. That's a joke. That's a joke. Don't come at me. I'm joking. You know I'm joking. You know I think it's bullshit. You know that. I'm not actually suggesting that your prices should be higher. That's ludicrous. That is insane. You already have to give up your firstborn to buy a Land Raider. I'm not actually saying that. Just chill the fuck out. Just joking. Anyway. If you're in Australia and New Zealand, you will have to wait a little longer. Apparently, the mass conveyor the chaplains bound for the Antipodes were on has been delayed by a storm worthy of Fenrisian Hellwinter. I mispronounced Fenrisian, but who cares? We expect that you'll be able to pre-order him around the 17th of October. Basically, boat's late. It is what that sentence means. It's still a good model, though. That is still a solid model. I still love it. I still love it. The book held down by chains. The winged Crozius, the chest armor being like segmented but not fully ripped. I love this thing. I love it. It's quality model. That. There's also the Firestrike servo turret, also easy build if I remember correctly. I mean, it's just an auto cannon with a Tech Marine behind it. It looks fine. Looks all right. It still seems weird that there's a Tech Marine specifically. I'm not gonna lie. That's still a bit puzzling, but. You know, as concepts go, a deployable turret manned by Space Marines is not exactly the most outlandish thing in the world, so, you know, you can totally see it. Why Tech Marine, though? Maybe there's a thing in the lore about it, we'll have to see. So, Codex Necrons is also on the way. Look at that cover, good lord. That warrior with the face that is almost completely melted off is horrifying. Horrifying in the best way. It just looks gross. Absolutely gross. So, the biggest, most all-encompassing edition of Codex Necrons ever includes detailed background on the ancient alien machine race. Wait, ancient alien... Well, I've just added alien in there. Ancient Aliens. That's that show on is the History Channel with the guy with the mad hair. And tells the full story of their ancestral rule of the Silent King for the first time. Also, of course, has the Crusade rules. And you can assemble a dynastic code of your own, whichever way you pronounce it is fine, it's up to you. And it's fair to say that Necron fans are in for a real treat, and their enemies are in for a rude awakening. You can even celebrate the return of the Silent King with a suitably imperious collector's edition again, so same deal. You get the edges taken off so the art goes to the full size of the cover. Again, that seems more saturated to me. That seems like they've ramped the saturation up. Although it could just be that the material of the cover is such that the colours come out better in that one. That's probably it, actually, isn't it? Let's be honest. So, also, data cards, obviously, for when the app crashes. And then, I've really got to stop ragging on the app. Okay, we've also got Zarek the Silent King. Still looks solid. Look at him. Let's just take a moment to bask in the glory of the Silent King. I can't get over the fact he has a shard, like, just there. Just as an absolute power move. It's like, yeah, I've got the shard of a god trapped in my chair. Because that's what it is. It's a chair. He's just got it in his chair. What an absolute boss. And I have to admit, I have no idea how I would even do this, but I want to. I would love to take those floaty shield things and make like a Necron Lancer. Like the Cerastus Knight Lancer. I don't think the scale's right, though. No, the scale isn't right. That'd be fun, though. That'd be quality. Anyway, good model. We also have the Locust Heavy Destroyer. I can't remember whether... I don't think this lad's easy build. I think this is just a standard full fat kit. So, yeah, again, solid model. Seeing some, like, 3rd edition concept artwork come to life is, like, one of the highlights of the Necron releases for me, because I remember seeing the sketches for this dude way back when, and I thought it was absolutely fucking amazing. The fact that it exists now makes me just super happy. We also have the Canoptech Doomstalker. Love this thing. Really, at the moment, if it's a Necron model, I'm all in. I don't give a shit. Give it to me now. Just do it. I'll have all of them. I'll take one of each, and then one day when I've painted them, I'll take one more. As if I'm going to wait until I've painted them. As if that'll ever happen. We also have a dicey subject in the form of Necron dice. I have to admit, these dice are actually okay. I think they're all right. You've got the faction symbol for your 6. You've got a Necron skull for your 1. That's actually a nice way of doing it. Don't put the faction symbol on the 1. They've done that before. That's garbage. Don't do that, because that means that every time you roll a 1, it's like it's your faction's fault. Don't do it. But they're readable. They're actually readable. I would suggest those are usable dice. There might be a moment of confusion because of the lines, but to be honest, I think they're pretty well designed. They are very sensible, which, given that Games Workshop has historically done some pretty shocking faction dice, I'm pretty happy with these. There's also the Space Marine chapter dice that we didn't see ages ago. So when we had all the different supplements coming out, we saw like pictures of these, and then they just never showed up. I don't know why they never showed up. Clearly they were supposed to come out alongside the supplements. Why they didn't is an absolute mystery. I'm assuming some sort of issue with manufacturing, I'd guess. Because why else would it not? Like, what? Why would you just not release these alongside the supplements that they went with? But they didn't. But yeah, so they've got the Apothecarian symbol in place of a 1, and the chapter icon in place of a 6. Again, that's the way to do it. It's a little bit difficult to... Hang on. The Salamander's dice look weird. It's hard to see what the actual numbers look like on those. For some reason, they look not as you would expect them to look. I can't see the side of them. Look. Do you see what I mean, though? Hang on, let me enlarge. Zoom and enhance. Okay, let's have a look. There's like weird symbols instead of just dots on these, isn't there? So the fists one is a fist, and the number of lightning strikes coming out of the fist dictates what number it is. No, don't do that. The Salamander's one is some sort of fire, and it looks like there's holes in the fire, and that shows you how many numbers are on those. Oh, you're doing so well. You're doing so well with the Necron dice, and you've overcomplicated it. Overcomplicated it again. You've overcomplicated it, lads. You've done it again. Oh, God. Right, well, there you go. You can have those if you like. There's also a Getting Started Warhammer 40k book. It's actually not a bad idea, to be fair. Something that's well constructed, that lays it all out in an easy to understand manner, gives you a model for either side of the two poster boys for the new edition. Provided it's laid out decently, it'd be worth getting hold of that, actually. You know what, there's an idea. What do you think of... oh god, this is going cold. What do you think of us getting a copy of that and taking a look through it to see whether it's worth the effort, see whether it's any good? I think it might be worth it, because something like that I think is a good idea. It just depends on how well it's structured, how well it's laid out, how like comprehensible it is if you're not familiar with the game. I mean, I could test it on someone. I was going to say I could test it on my wife, but it feels like that is a comment that could be taken massively out of context. So, pretend I didn't say that. Also, this is borderline cold at this point. Yeah, we'll get hold of one of them and see what it's like. We'll judge it. Judge it. We will. Okay. We also have from Forge World some more House Escher stuff. You got your champions and a weapons. In fact, the champions thing is the weapons pack, isn't it? Or is it separate? Are these lads resin? Lads. Lasses resin. I'll just use lads for everything now. Probably shouldn't. That is quite the face on her. Jesus. Yeah, so tooled up champions and new weapons options. So we've got the 3 champions there, and we've got the weapons options there. There's some cool weapons in there. There's also a cool, like some cool heads as well available for Escher. The top right resin one there is solid. Yeah, nice. Okay, we also have Black Library. We've got the Infinite and the Divine. I'm really looking forward to reading that, actually. A book set entirely from the perspective of Necrons. It's not a thing until just now, so that's quality. Yeah, and also it tells a tale of discord between Trazyn and Orican from their awakening around the time of the Horus Heresy to the present day. They've been knocking around for quite a while, these lads. I can assume there's been quite a few repeated conversations, but I don't know. I'm intrigued by that. I think that could be really good. And there's also another Warhammer Adventures in the form of War of the Orcs. I still haven't read any of the Warhammer Adventures stuff. I've heard from a few people that actually pretty decent. Need to add it to my list of things to read. There's also more stream stuff they're doing. I'll put a link to this in the description, obviously, so you can take a look at the schedule if you want to drop in and check out like Hangout and Hobby especially. I really enjoy those. Those are really good. Also, my nights were on Hobby Roundup last week before last, which was amazing. I made me so happy. So happy. Okay. And September's theme for the painting competition, is Warband Leaders. So it can be any warband, but I mean, I think Warcry is probably going to be the main focus of that. But yeah, if you are looking to go for that, then Facebook is the place to go. So there you go. That's the preview for Sunday, the 27th. I had to check the date. I'm also debating whether to even try and finish this because it's gone pretty cold. It is the 2nd of the morning, so I don't really need it, but I'm filled with regret. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if that was in fact in any way helpful. If you had any thoughts whilst viewing as to which of those things you're going to pick up. I'm assuming the Silent King for pretty much everyone, and the Chaplain on bike. Remember, I don't actually think that you in Australia or New Zealand should be charged more. That's ludicrous. But I hope I made it clear enough that was a joke, but we'll see. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't if you don't want to. And of course there is an affiliate link in the description down below which you can use for Element Games to support the channel. If you would like to, I leave it in your capable hands. And I'll probably see you later in the day for something else, most likely.